guess I'm doing this now. I was planning to start production on my War vs. Order video, but you know what? I guess I can do this first. Remember, everybody, you are not immune to peer pressure. You're also not immune to propaganda! Anyway, yeah, this is basically just gonna be a low-budget version of my up-and-coming Order vs. War video that should be coming out eventually. My PC is kind of it's kind of a committed die, and it's not wanting to turn on now. So, yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get that done, but hopefully soon. So, yeah, this is just a low-budget version of that video, up and coming. Enjoy! This video is probably going to be pretty brief, so I'm just going to explain basically what I'm going to do for each segment, and then move on with it. So basically what I'm going to do is explain both Chaos and Pandemonium separately, and then kind of compare and contrast them, if that makes sense. So, first up, Chaos. When first entering P-1, there is a grand sense of dread, of unease. All that lies in front of you is a torch on top of a pedestal. All you can do is grab the torch and walk forward. The music that plays in Spinal Staircase is eerie, as it first starts out with a classical song that quickly distorts as if you're listening to a broken vinyl. As you continue down the twists and turns of the Spinal Staircase, it gets more uneasy, and the creepy crawlies seem to come through the sides of the screen. You are soon approached by teeth, and once you fall through, absolute silence. All that lies in front of you is a door, opened by the torch. And as you walk through the flesh corridor, there is uncertainty for what comes next. Chaos is a perfect representation of seeing the flesh prison for the first time. I remember my exact reaction to the flesh prison when I first saw it, and it can only be described with this Maxor quote.
What on God's green earth is that?
Yeah, exactly. That's probably every single person's reaction to seeing the flesh prison, and Chaos is a great enabler of that, with it trying to create a song, but the absolute panic and chaos that you are feeling in this moment, it just goes out of control. And Chaos has this kind of feel, like it's trying to make a song, but it can't. And so the jarbled mess of just complete, absolute destruction of your senses comes through in the form that is Chaos. And you're just trying this entire time to figure out how you even deal with this flesh cube. And the song goes on for a pretty long while, as most players will not know how to deal with this thing until they finally realize that the eyes actually heal the flesh prison. And as you start to get used to this, the song kind of starts to change. It feels less chaotic, and it feels slightly more enabling. You understand the boss better, and the Flesh Prison and Chaos don't stand around for too long. They are great enablers of P-1, and even when you defeat the Flesh Prison, Chaos brings you straight into Order. A great segue, going from absolute madness to madness but controlled. I think Chaos is great at doing its job, and as a first impression for a Flesh Prison, it is great, and it does its job perfectly. In P-2, you've already beaten P-1. You've destroyed the Flesh Prison, and you've killed Minos. And so, by the time you're entering P-2, you're expecting another Flesh Prison situation. Of course, you have to go through an entire level, basically, with Tenebre Rosso Sangue playing in the background, which is, by the way, one of the greatest songs in Ultrakill. But yes, by the time you are done with all of the enemy encounters, you enter the Panopticon Arena. Pandemonium is different from Chaos. It's still chaotic, however in a different way, as you're already now expecting something like the Flesh Prison. Sure, it's different, but it's very similar. Pandemonium is a lot less chaotic than Chaos is. It's more united. You actually get parts of songs, like you can actually hear united parts of songs, followed up by actual chaos, and then rinse and repeat. I mean, this section for Pandemonium should say enough. Of course, Pandemonium gets cut short, which I think is a bummer, because if I'm being honest, Pandemonium I find more engaging than Chaos, as Pandemonium has the sprinkles of chaos, but tries to bring in some actual music elements in, and does it in this really unique way that actually fits very well. And also, Chaos isn't very nice to just listen to. Well, Pandemonium is slightly nicer to listen to on your day-to-day basis. Comparing Chaos and Pandemonium is a little bit difficult, because both are really meant for different situations. While they both have the same ideals, they're definitely different from each other. Chaos is truly supposed to bring you chaos, while Pandemonium is trying to give you chaos in a different way. As you've already seen a Flesh Prison, you're expecting another Flesh Prison, so Pandemonium switches things up a little bit. Personally, for my opinion, I believe that Chaos fits its role near perfectly. It brings the amount of just anarchy that you're feeling when first seeing the Flesh Prison, while also giving some slight musical notes and trying to build a song, but it just can't. Pandemonium is more successful in actually building a true song, and, well, I personally find Pandemonium more enjoyable to listen to in my day-to-day life than Chaos. So, personally, for me, I prefer Pandemonium. It's just got this different feel that makes it nicer to enjoy, if you understand what I'm trying to convey here. Of course, Pandemonium gets cut short, while Chaos gets to play for as long as you struggle with the boss. But I still would say that both songs fit their roles very well, and that these are both very unique songs that, well, the only song that really comes close to these two is Complete and Utter Destruction of the Senses, which is also a really good song, even though nobody really agrees with it. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. So, yeah, get ready for a War vs. Order video.